friends, and welcome to Mystic Star Magic. Oh, I am beyond happy that you are here. So this is what makes you beautiful. Like basically what just makes you beautiful. And so this is a kind of reading that I just want to put out there so that when you're feeling a little icky, or when you're feeling like or when your day isn't quite right, this is just a little pick-me-up is what I want it to be. I am doing a little mini Reiki with it, so just to kind of definitely to uplift you a little bit, as well as to just bring out the beauty, like come out, like anything, remove anything that's blocking all your beautiful points. So check that out. It's going to be in the actual timestamp, and something that I'm it's a new thing for me, just to add a little Reiki in here and there. Because I actually want, not just for you to just watch reading and be uplifted, but like also just to help in general, just to really like bring this, I guess, healing change, whatever it is that you need at the time. So look forward to that. If you want to support this channel, if you want to just and just also show appreciation, the easiest and freest way, like it's totally free, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, or just watch the whole thing through all to the end. I'm sorry, my friends are all here with us, so that I would really appreciate that a lot. It just helps the channel. And also, if you want to donate to the channel, there's a PayPal and Cash App, or you can just support by buying stuff or buying decks from me personally or from Etsy. It depends on how you want it. And also, if you want to support all the Oracle creators, I usually just put their links on the list below, or if I am feeling a little tired or forgot, you can just find mostly everything on Etsy. Like I'll call out the oracles. I'm just really glad you're here. Thank you so much. If you're new, thank you so much for giving me a chance to read your cards. And if you're one of my old time friends who's been with me forever, thank you so much for sticking with me. I truly do appreciate you 100%. All right. So let's go look at pile 1. This is going to be pile 1. This is your card. And all of them, I'm excited to see what makes you beautiful. And this is pile 2. And this is going to be pile 3. All right, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Close our eyes, clear our mind. And now as we exhale and open our eyes, choose whichever pile draws you to it. All right, let's do this. So my friends from pile 1. Sorry, I can talk sometimes. I can. So thank you for being here. And like I said, if you're new, thank you for letting me read your cards. And if you're one of my friends who's been with me for a while, thank you for sticking with me. It really does mean a lot. And if you do feel like supporting the channel, the easiest and like freest way is just to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, or watch the whole video through all the way to the end. Like that does help. All right, so here are part of what you are, what you're like, why people find you beautiful. So oh my goodness, there is a sense like you do here. Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. And here we have blessing on your wisdom. So first of all, there you have a lot of wisdom. And I'm going to say to you that it's not just like wisdom, like it's not a know-it-all. It's actually, I think, a deep knowing. Like by that I almost feel like you can access records. You have this like natural innate knowing that just comes like as a feeling, as almost to feel like you might spook people with that. You also, I feel like you can cut through illusion, and by that I mean if somebody's trying to like lie, or maybe even if they're not lying to you on purpose, maybe they're lying to themselves. You can see through that as well. And that also comes through that you know when you're lying to yourself about things as well. Yeah, you have something with the eyes. You see things that others, like, I think, try to hide from themselves. Like, I think you have this genuine way of, like, sort of, I almost want to say, like, hawk like vision in terms of, like, seeing the details. I do see here we have a blessing on protection, and so that could be also with, like, a sense of you protect those that you love. Like, you have this, this is kind of reminding me of the Queen of Wands energy. You also have the owl there, which is, I guess, like, I do feel like you, if even if you aren't aware of it, you have, like, a psychic gift, but it's more than that. It's sort of like here with the owl and then the raven, it's sort of like, oh, and even the, oh, wow. And then we have the wolf there. So much, like, so you might just be, a part of that beauty is that you definitely can see the shadow side of others, and you don't hold judgment for it, but you also have a quality of being like a leader. But at the same time, I feel like you might be a bit of a loner. You don't necessarily always want to be with others. It's sort of like sometimes you just need time by yourself. But, well, there's, for me, with this, we see the little conchs around here. Those are, for me, like, those represent Lakshmi, but that to me is like an abundance. You have an abundance that I'm not sure that you would necessarily tap into or know about, but you have just innate, like, abundance is always around you. That's a message that you have here. Do here, you have a way here. This is reminding me of, like, sunflowers. You have a way of, you brighten people's life, and that does make you quite beautiful, but there's also a sense of you try to find, even if you might be a little pessimistic, you always kind of try to find the bright side of things, like the silver lining. Sometimes it's a little hard for you, but it's okay. You got this. Anything else I want to say about how it makes you beautiful from here? I do feel like, and that's a message that not necessarily just to do with your why you're beautiful, but it's sort of like I'm hearing, like, that you need to plug in more with your power here, especially with this, like, with the Queen of Wands energy here. It's almost like, I know it's like a blessing of protection, but it feels like there's also a need for protecting maybe your creativity, protecting, like, your dreams here as well. There's a sense of wanting that, and just needing to give yourself more credit than you do. And I do like this because it's sort of like the sunflower, but here you actually have the moon. I really do think you are able to see the shadow and light in others and of yourself, and be okay with both. Like, you have, like, Ace of Swords, so you do have this wisdom, you have this knowing, you see things clearly. It's quite lovely. You have the King of Swords. Okay, that's a strong one. Three of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, and then 10 of Wands. Okay, so you have a lot of strength. You can, with the 10 of Wands here, it's almost like you can handle a lot more than, like, most people. And so this is quite beautiful, because even though, like, other people might not be able to, like, handle all the things, you're just, it's almost like you're like, you take it on. So there's, like, a sense of a lot of inner strength coming through. I did say that you do see things a lot clearer, and then to me it's like the third eye. Even if you're not fully awake, like, it's not fully open, it's like you have a very strong connection with that third eye chakra. You do, like I said, the 10 of Cups, you have this sense of the sun. You do give people, like, this sense of joy and happiness. I feel like when they're in your presence, like, you give them all of you. You're not, like, looking around. You're really there. They feel the attention. They feel the love. They feel the nourishment that you give them. You also are a very strong believer in other people's dreams, and so So they love that because they feel supported by you. And that's part of this Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is where you feel like you like others kind of collaborate with you, but what I'm feeling is more like you support them. You're like, they have all these ideas and you bring about the support. It could be just emotional support. It doesn't necessarily be anything else. Just that and then you have the King of Swords, which is quite nice. And again, the Raven, look at this. I want you to see that. And here it's funny because you have the masculine and feminine shown here. You have the Raven here, and then you have the owl again. So it's like those two are there with you. You have so very strong psychic abilities, even if you're not aware of it. I do feel like you can see the shadow, like I said. And then with the King of Swords, you have a very analytical mind. You can and it's a beautiful thing because, like I said, I feel like you cut away illusion from others, especially they might be lying to themselves, but you be like, no, this is how it is. You cut away through illusion, and you are very perceptive. You see things like that nobody else does. And like I said, I feel like it's like if people try to hide something from you, it won't ever work out because you're like, I know, you just intuitively know. Let's see. You're also an action taker here, but but you do it on purpose. It's not like you just kind of willy-nilly take action. Let's see. What makes the collective of group one beautiful? Wishing I think you make other people's wishes come true. It's sort of like the wishing for me is sort of more like, and this is my magical sight oracle. This is the Light Seekers oracle. This is Blessed Be, and this is the Kyle Ancestors and Guardians, I think. And so the wish fulfillment is with this 10 of Cups. And you seem like you help, and also with this Queen of Wands, it's almost like you help others with their wish come through with what their dreams are. You somehow, because you kind of cut away all the excess. You're just sort of like, okay, that's not necessary. Let's focus on this. You would be a really good coach. Yeah, you would totally be a good coach. It's like, oh no. You also have a playfulness to you. I love this because that's the sun energy. There is a sense, and which is interesting to me because although there's like a lot of your energy feels quite serious, there is a playfulness here with that 10 of Cups. There's a sense of fulfillment, and here with the sun, there's a sense of playing there. Let's see. Past loved ones, yeah. If you can probably talk to like I said, you can access records. You can also, I guess, communicate. Well, with that knowing comes through from people who have passed. You do have I would say a wealth of knowledge, of intuitive knowledge to make it even more like, wow, yeah. Let's see. I'm using right now Be Love and Tarot's The Witch Becomes Her. And her Salem, I want to say Salem Sisters, yeah, sorry, Salem Sisters oracle. And so we have this burning, summoning, trickery, getaway. And so for me, it's the burning, it's sort of like because with the rain, I almost feel like you clear that trickery, you clear away the illusion in many ways. And that is you may not understand the power of that, what that is, but that is really powerful because it's sort of, not everybody can see through illusions. Let me just tell you, we often don't. And then we have the Witch Becomes Our Augury Witch. So omens, signs, observations, 100%. And you can definitely see omens and signs. You can see that with that. But it's the observation. You have a very keen sense of observation. I would say people may not even, they won't get away with any kind of things that nothing gets past you. Okay, and then let's use Moon Moth Goddess Divine Intelligence Oracle. And so see what makes you quite beautiful. collective of group. 1 meditation. Okay. And this is actually the meditation. You can actually see here, it's again the third eye, and you actually have a lot of this spiral. Look at that spiral. Deep knowing. The meditation for me is also like with that, it's really the third eye. So if you haven't done so, maybe connecting to that, your third eye is really, I almost feel like something that's being called to you to help. And so I feel like there's a sense of you help others overcome their painful lessons, because but it's because you are that strong. You've gone through your own lessons, but you're okay with it. Like a 10 of Wands, you can handle a lot. And there's a practice of gratitude. You actually do practice gratitude. You have that. And when you don't, you try to sort of like that. I feel like that's something that you do. You're like, you work on it. Like you do, for example, like I said, you try to see the bright side of stuff. And sometimes you can't, sometimes you have a hard time doing that. But you still try to do it. So that is pretty awesome. So I hope you like this reading. I'm actually going to like add a little bit of like what we can do to highlight what might be something that will really help the collective of group 1 with their with like shining their beautiful light, and like just letting them even highlight their beauty. And also, if you didn't hear before, I am doing like a little mini Reiki in the video, so for you to like clear up anything that needs to clear up, to let any healing that needs to heal. But it's mostly just so that you can, it's an uplifting energy Reiki for you to feel that beauty that is being called here. And so look at all these. Okay, so where can you love higher? So agape is a huge open heart. It is the highest form of love, the energy of universal love, connection, and an experience of incredible creativity through self-expression. Agape is a dedication to appreciation, honoring and nurturing beauty and uniqueness of all beings. Feed a higher version of self-love and focus with a sense of maturity and purpose towards what you have to give. And so this is almost like acknowledging your gifts. And that's what I was saying here with this like Queen of Wands energy. It's sort of like, I feel like you have to protect and take care of your dreams, because I feel like you also tend to like give a lot of your energy away to others, because again, like you just have this you have a very strong sense of being, but you have to almost like turn that Ace of Swords and that King of Swords onto yourself, onto your dreams, to make them happen, because there's something that you have but nobody else can give to the world. And so that's an important message coming through for you. And then we have energy. So how do you recharge your battery? Take responsibility for your own energy. Our bodies are like sponges and pick up on all that is around us. You could absorb energy from a beautiful living tree or a person in a really bad mood. Considering a sponge, when it's full of water, it's heavy, dripping, and needs to be wringed out just the right amount to do the job. Pay attention to your environment and both the energy you give out and the energy you absorb. And so again, because you kind of can take on a lot of this 10 of Wands energy, and you have a way of perceiving things. And you have this inner knowing. So sometimes, and here I'm going to say this to you, sometimes, especially because I do feel like you take on a lot of other people's maybe dramas, other people's like their dreams and everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm seeing here for you is, right now the time is for you to focus on your dreams. And I almost want to say it's also like how you try to show this gratitude and practice gratitude. And sometimes I feel like especially if other people are in this painful lessons, you kind of take down that energy, while you are really more, you're supposed to be more of a sunflower. You're supposed to be more of the shining energy. And you can do both like that, because like I said, you're okay with the shadow and the light. But I'm feeling like right now is your time for the light. Right now is your time for your creativity, for your projects, for you, like, to take center stage in your life. And with that, I also want to say, like, sometimes you can see and perceive mistakes that somebody else is making, or maybe lots of others, people that are around you. But it's not in your place unless they ask for help, unless they ask, hey, let me, not to tell them. And I know you're like, but why, if somebody's making that mistake, why can't I just, it just might not be. First of all, some people won't react well to it. They will, like, if you call them out on something, they'll actually stick closer to their guns, versus if maybe you say, if maybe you say, hey, like, ask them questions like, why are you doing this way, and not try to get them to do things as how you would do it, but rather maybe trying to understand where they're coming from. But really, what I really think is the focus here is really about your own creativity, your own passion, your own dreams, and allowing them to flourish and allowing them to grow. And that's sort of what I have, because you have, like I said, you have a gift, you have this beautiful calling that nobody else does. It's uniquely to you. And so if you don't do it, if you're spending time on other, which benefits you in some way, but not in the way that I think Spirit really wants you to be able to give on to others. I hope that makes sense. But thank you so much for being here. If you did like this reading, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing. It does help the channel grow, and it does help me keep coming back for more. And like I said, there is a little mini Reiki for you to just, like, to help clear any of this energy that needs to be cleared up, and for you to be uplifted. So basically, an uplifting Reiki for you, for your true beauty to shine outwards and inwards as well. But okay. So thank you so much for being here. I feel honored I was able to read your cards. And until I see you in the next one, bye bye, my dear friends. Dear friends from group 2. Oh, I am so happy that you are here. Yes. And so if you didn't hear at the beginning, I will have like a little mini Reiki section in this video, and it's just to clear up, to uplift, clear up any kind of energies that need to be cleared up, and then uplift you into, like, to letting that true beauty shine forward. So let's go ahead and start seeing what makes you beautiful, my friends from group 2. And if you ever want to support the channel, the easiest and freest way you can do is give the video a thumbs up, possibly share it with your friends and loved ones who you think will benefit from it, and also consider subscribing or watching the whole video all the way through. That does help the channel grow a lot, so I do appreciate that. And just being here, I do appreciate you very much. So here we have this White Witch, be the light. We have blessing for a fresh start and blessing on your sleep. Oh, I do like this. Whew. But really, when I looked at the White Witch, what really called me here was this moth. And so you have, in a way, like, what makes you beautiful. There's a sense of attraction here. You attract others, like other people are very much attracted to you. Yeah, I do definitely see that. There's like a physical attraction as well. You have this. But you don't let people see the full side of you. It's sort of like, I can see that there's almost like a hidden aspect to you. And that actually makes you quite intriguing as well. And maybe that's also this attraction. You only let people see a certain side of you, not the full picture. With the owl there, which I have to say is quite lovely. With the owl there is sort of very much, and even with the moth, I have to say, even though you're the light and there's the White Witch, there's still you're more of a night person. Does that make sense? Yeah, like there's a sense of maybe you could be that in your dreams, because we do have blessing and sleep. In your dreams you have a very vivid dreams, almost, I would say, visionary, like you have visions. Yeah, I would say that. And so you have a fresh start as well. And so interesting here though, like the blessing and sleep, we have the owls, you have connection to owls. So owls is wisdom. It's also, but again, it's sort of like I can almost see that you only show people one aspect of yourselves. And so I almost feel like they want to know more. They want to know more. And I just, that's something that I feel like you do attract a lot of it. Like even whether you know it or not, you attract a lot of attention there. The owl, it's sort of like you just know things too. It's just funny because group one was the kind of knowing, but this is a different knowing. It's almost like secrets are unfolding for you. You get insights. Yeah, the owl. You see things. You also see things in like very many different perspectives. You don't necessarily are just one type of perspective. You can see things in many perspectives. There's a lot of abundance here as well. Maybe you have a green thumb for some of you, but I could just see like here you have this, an ivy is all around, and there's also like berries there as well. So it's almost like you have a lot of growth and abundance around you. The orange, oh my goodness. I feel like in here, even here in the snow, you have like the holly. I can see there's a sweetness to you, but I almost feel that there's a caution that there's like, yeah. So it's funny because I almost feel like people can only see one aspect of you, but the other aspect is very strong. I almost feels like you don't show them that aspect because it's so strong it might scare them. But that, I feel like that's also spirit telling you that that's not necessarily true. You're gonna need to show all of you. Yeah. So I'm like seeing this, what makes you beautiful, but I'm also seeing what spirit wants to say. Yeah, maybe there's a sense of needing a fresh start for you. And here, because I feel like maybe you don't show the whole you, maybe because maybe when you were little, like people couldn't quite understand it, or whatever reason, or you were feel like some aspect of you was rejected at some point in time, and so you stopped showing this other side of you. And with this fresh start, I feel like no, it's time for almost to lift off the hood, to clear out all that. I want to say past programming, and now it's time for you to take on like a new beginning for yourself, where you show the whole you, no longer hiding. I really do feel like that's true. Accepting the shadow that is you. Maybe that's what you always hide, the shadow side of you, but you're okay. Like I really feel like there's strength in your shadow here. The blessings of your sleep, very, like I said, very strong. Visions that you see in your dreams makes you beautiful. I almost feel like there's a sense also of interesting comfort. There's a sense of those around you feel like they're protected. It's so funny because I feel like there's almost like people can relax around you or feel like they can they don't longer they can, like the blessing of sleep, it comes in because it's sort of like you allow them to relax. I also want to say that for some of you, maybe you might be energetic healers, energy healers, or healers of something. You do have that gift that might be worth tapping into in terms of like helping others. So like for example, there's yoga nidra, the art of conscious relaxation, and so, or like relaxation, there you might be something that you might be able to share with others, because not everybody can sleep well and you might even have had trouble, or maybe you still have trouble, and if that's the case, that shouldn't be. There's a needing for you to connect with this owl, so there's the wisdom that's going to help you clear this. If you're having trouble sleeping, there is a connecting to your intuition. It'll guide you, like yes, there's the practical of maybe lavender, valerian root and everything, but it's almost like if you're worried like, because usually our sleep is disrupted because we're worried or thinking about something. I want to say that there is abundance for you in all sorts of ways. So let's see what also makes you beautiful. Oh, look at that, the beautiful heart. Wow, look at that sun, and there is. Okay, so I have to say, like, this is interesting to me because you have this, like, shine your light, and you have the sun. You also have the Ace of Cups, where you're giving a lot of love, and you have a lot of things, and you have the Six of Pentacles, where just your natural giving self. But you also have this Two of Swords, and what I'm seeing here is that yes, you can definitely, we can say that you like I said, you can see the perspective in many ways, but I do feel like this, I'm noticing a pattern here with, like, the Two of Swords for me. It's sort of like you again haven't quite accepted, you're blindfolding yourself to some aspect of yourself. And for me, it's the shadow self. I feel like it's sort of like you're like, I can only do this, I can only shine my light, I can only be this, like, you can, because again, you're only showing one aspect of yourself. You feel like you're probably one of those who've heard only good vibes only, good vibes only. And I get it, and I really do. I understand why you would want to be only in good vibes. But unfortunately, we have a shadow self, and there's nothing wrong with that, with our different kind of emotions that we go through. And I feel like a lot of us feel like we can't ever express those maybe doubts, those fears, those what we call dirty emotions, like maybe jealousy, envy, anger, depression, maybe. All these things that those are things where we're like, nope, we can only be positive, we can only be like, and that's not the nature of how we are. You have a beautiful heart. You are giving. You are naturally. You uplift others. You have this sunshine. You have this light. But there is a shadow self, and we do have it because it's not a punishment in it or something bad that we have to keep hidden. It is actually teaching us how to even shine even brighter. And so I feel like there's almost like, you're quite beautiful, and I feel like you need to hear this, but there is a lesson here, and not all of them is be the light. But in order to be the light, you also have to, like, integrate the shadow. You have to, like, face it, see it, no longer hiding from it. And so maybe the owl keeps coming back to you, or maybe your dreams might not be as sweet. Maybe you're having trouble sleeping because you're not letting all of you integrate. You only show one aspect. And then the Queen of Wands here is telling us you have, like, I do feel like there's a sense of attraction. There's a sense of like quality of, like, making creativity and dreams and everything come through here. But I also see here with this blessing on a fresh start, I think you need to allow yourself to have this fresh start where you, like I said, integrate all of you. I feel like you give others fresh starts. You also give others the benefit of the doubt. You also give them the space where they can be, because you can see, like, all aspects of them, and you accept them as they are. But you need to do that to yourself as well. This is a new beginning for you. It's a new beginning of okay, that's a good one. See, what sometimes I think of, I think sometimes we have to be villains in other people's stories. We sometimes have, like, it just is, when we say no to somebody and we're like, no, but you're supposed to say yes. And it's sort of like, no, but I don't, like, maybe you don't feel like doing something and you say no. Right there, you become the villain in their story. And can you believe it? They said no, even though I really needed it. But at that point in time, they're only focusing on themselves, right? And maybe you couldn't do it because you have, you already made a plan with somebody else. It's sort of like at the same thing of being kind. Like those they are well intentioned. Like hi, only good vibes only. Like those are all very well intentioned, or just be kind. And I could see that. I think you're trying to live that so well, but the being kind is sometimes what we conceive and think of as being kind is not necessarily kind at all. I have a lot of that where like, I do believe that you have to let people grow naturally. And so sometimes you're gonna say no. You're gonna, like, I'm not saying like don't help others, but if they're not asking for your help, don't give it to them because they might not be ready for it. And so it's almost like you're wasting your energy where maybe you could be showing them, like giving them something to aspire to. And so I'm sorry that I went into like a little tangent, but I feel like that's something that you need to hear because um I keep, it's sort of like even you're almost blocking me as well. It's sort of like, no, look, I'm here, this is me, this is like amazing, I'm the sun and all this, and I have a beautiful heart and I'm very giving, and I'm like, yes, you're beautiful in this, but I also want to know the shadow self. I want to know, because it's the whole person. It's not just the good side, it's the whole person that really wants to, like, I guess to me it's sort of like that's the uniqueness. Like, I want to see the aspects where you are closing yourself off. It's sort of like, and they keep coming back. So and that's what I'm going to say here. But let's see what other things come through. I'm going to be using, actually, I'm using my oracle. And so this is the Blessed Bee oracle. This is the Ancestors and Guardians by in Hay House. You can get this set. Usually it's cheaper there than in Amazon, but you can get it at Amazon too. But then there's also, this is the Light Seekers, also at Hay House. And so now I'm going to use the magical slate, and that's mine. And you can find it on Etsy, or you can contact me individually, and I can give it to you. Okay, so let's see what my little cats are fighting. They're not really fighting. It's sort of like my cranky older lady cat does not like it when other cats are near her. Like, but they grew up with you. But nope. And she's gotten more cranky as she gets older. Ain't that true of everybody? Yeah. Oh, rebirth again. Yes. Look, it is this again. It's a new beginning. It's a rebirth. And I feel like, look at this fight. I feel like you're fighting your shadow self here, or like you're like, I feel like that I do find it. I like, and like you have a quest. Yeah, I do feel like you do have a quest too, and I think that's why you're like, I want to shine my light, I want to be this beautiful. But part of this quest and part of this is really actually, like I said, it's really kind of facing your shadow. And the more you don't face it, the more you don't face it, the bigger it gets, But you know, like, you have to, I know I'm like repeating myself over and over, but it's a message that like, it's very strong. And it is the rebirth. The rebirth comes from both the light and the dark, like from the shadow self and the light self coming together. This is the rebirth Spirit wants for you. And then that's when you're ready for your true quest. Very beautiful. Liking this one a lot. And now I'm going to use the Witch Becomes Her and Salem Sisters. Both these decks, I blend them, and they're by Love and Tarot, Love and Crystals, and you can find her on Etsy, or if you contact her, like she will, like eBay too. And then there's check out her YouTube channels. They're really good. I always like it. She has a reading. That's kind of what inspired me for this one. All right, let's see what makes the collective of group 2 beautiful. Egyptian witch. So ancient wisdom, mythology, deities. Oh, that's a thing. Okay, sorry. Like, I'm gonna say blonde hair, so sex appeal, flirtation, playfulness, and you do maybe have blonde hair, but there's a sense of sex appeal. Yeah, that's the moth. You have a lot of sex appeal and flirtation. There's a playfulness here. What I wanted to see is this the ancient wisdom, mythology. It's sort of like and the deities here. It's almost like, I was going to say something. I forgot, but it's okay. It's like the next level for you, the deities. So I feel like there's a sense here of you putting away, like even your ancient wisdom mythology. You're sort of like, I feel like you cast out your past almost. But I want to say that the past is what's made you who you are. And so this is all part of like your being here. It's sort of like, there's even a quest, like I feel something really big about you, but you have to well, you don't have to. I highly suggest that you integrate the past lessons. Not the lessons weren't that you have to hide something, but rather that there is strength in the change, there is strength in the rebirth. Because if you actually see being like change is quite it's hard. It's not easy. Even if it's a change that you want, still the transition is hard. So there's something here. I feel like you have an ability to share that with others, but you may not be aware of it. Okay, let's see what advice we can give you, even though I've been telling you advice, but it's because you have this beautiful energy, and I can tell you how awesome you are, and maybe that's what I should have been doing over and over, but I feel like you know this, you know, but I feel like what you need to hear, and the beauty of you is also the shadow. It's not just the light that I think is beautiful about you. It's the past that made like all the like that made you who you are, this beautiful person who is very giving, who has a big heart to like, who's giving, right? And naturally giving. Ace of Cups, who has this love to give, and this heart of this Ace of Cups, and the sun that you shine, and others are like being attracted to you because of this. But there's also the shadow that is also attractive as well. Okay, let's see what we have. Shadow, I kid you not. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're so, I have to, okay. So I'm almost gonna be like, wow. Okay, let's see the shadow. So what if fear is simply an opportunity to expand and grow? Shadow means that there is a light shining nearby. As the light increases, the shadow becomes long, sharp, and very clear. If we have the courage and willingness to go into the dark territory, we will benefit from the purging transformation as a result. Your job is to find your way out of a way of increasing that light so the dark space can dissolve. But acknowledging the dark, acknowledging the shadow, that's so important, generator. So what did the heart say to the brain? A generator is a person or a thing that generates something. We generate decisions from information of our bodies pick up in all kinds of situations. The brain gathers a good amount of intellectual data, but the heart has intelligence through the electromagnetic field that extends outside the physical body. It can be quicker at grasping the gut feeling information. The two can work together for an effective decision decision making if you let them. And so there's a sense of trusting your heart and your thoughts as well, like brain. I like that one, because the Two of Swords feels like you're always battling yourself in some way. But if you can if both things can come to peace together, that's where the spark really happens. And then we have chaos. What is whirling out of control? Chaos is implied to be a brief moment of instability that throws you in a place where anything can happen. This is an empowering place to choose from. So as life is flying around you, expand to receive all the possible options and opportunities. As chaos spins, find your center of being and calm, and watch the movie, and then make your choice from this space of wonder and growth. And so it's like a choice again. There's a choice that needs, maybe you have a choice of where you're going, but I feel like the rebirth, a new beginning is where it's headed, but it might be scary for you. And so you might feel like there's a lot of out of control, but it really is an opportunity. I do feel like there's a chance for you for the rebirth, for an awakening here for you. And this is the Queen of Wands that I would say. So hopefully you liked this reading. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing. Also, in case you didn't hear, I'm doing like a little mini Reiki, and it's kind of helping you. I think helping all the things that are blocking your true beauty from coming out. And so definitely maybe working some of this, like allowing the shadow to come out a little bit, or like working with this. But yeah, you're really awesome. I want you to be whole. And I feel like the part of you that keeps hiding the shadow self is not. Yeah. You're beautiful in your entirety, both the shadow and the light, my friend. So thank you so much for being here. Yeah, just thank you for letting me read your cards. I'm quite honored that I was able to do this. And I'm sending you a giant hug. And until I see you in the next one, bye-bye, my dear friends. My friends from group 3, thank you so much for being here. It really does mean a lot to me. Whether you're a new friend who's giving me a chance or an old friend who's been with me for a while, I'm just grateful that I'm able to read your cards. And so before I forget, I just wanted to say that there's a mini Reiki along with this video, that you'll find it in like the timestamps below. And it's just to help clear. So like it's meant as an uplifting energy, healing. And so hopefully you will like it and enjoy it. It's something I'm trying to do. So we have the Traveler, we have the Blessings of Water, and we have the Blessings of Homecoming. And it's interesting that we have the homecoming, blessing as a homecoming, but it's like a travel, so move in a new direction. For some of you, I feel like, well, the water here, the blessings of water, always like lets me think of the any of the water elements, outer signs, but especially Pisces. I can't help it. I have Pisces and Scorpio. Cancer is there too, but it feels like there's a sense more of like a little chaos and transformative energy of the Scorpio energy, and then the Pisces dream quality. I feel like it's almost like, even here again, this transformation here as well, like a little, if you see it, the lotus coming. Okay, so what makes it quite beautiful too is that even here with that lotus, it's sort of like you go through, and with the Traveler there, you've been through a lot, and there's like, and the beauty of it is that even though you've been through a lot, it sort of just made you even more empathetic, compassionate, understanding. And it also kind of almost makes you, I want to say you cut a lot of the illusion on the Maya, but it's sort of like, I feel like you're a wandering soul, and not in a bad way. I actually think that it's like you're trying to find your meaning, your life meaning, your purpose. And I think maybe part of your life purpose is to wander, is to look at things, to see things, new experiences. And doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be physically traveling different places. It might just be that your soul is trying to figure out, like, what is it that really makes you, like, lights you up. And I feel like that might be where you are. Like, maybe that's how you are. Like, what I'm saying for you is that homecoming, that home is actually you in a state of searching and for that purpose. And I feel that that might be their purpose, which is sort of like kind of weird, right? I do feel like there's a sense of needing to really trust your intuition here. Like, you have a good, like, gut reaction. You have a good intuition. It's almost like you if you follow your heart and you follow your true north, you might think that you're going nowhere, or you might even think that you're going in circles, or you might feel like, oh, I'm never like you might feel like you don't get to do enough, or like you haven't done enough. But I feel like Spirit's saying, like, yes, you've done more than enough. The real beauty and knowledge and everything comes from within. It's almost like you have to also, like, externally but internally, have to search within yourself. And when you come to peace with who you are, the beauty of who you are, then that's when you understand that is your homecoming. It's sort of like you understand. I get you. It's a strong feeling here. We have the Ace of Wands, we have the World, we have traveling, the Fool energy, the Eight of Wands, and then the Moon. And so, like, you actually have very strong cards here, as I could see. So you go from the Fool to the World. And so I really do feel like that's kind of your beauty. Your beauty is wandering. Your beauty is trying new things. Your beauty is you keep trying new things. You keep trying, like being open. I almost feel like there's a playfulness, but there's also a sense of, in this playfulness, it's almost like you're awakening to the world. You're allowing yourself to experience fully, and that's really where you're meant to be. So I that's and I feel it with the moon here. And like I said, I feel like there's a sense maybe you're trying to find your purpose externally, maybe, but it's really an internal thing. It's the moon. I feel like it's like you center within yourself. It's almost like realizing that the illusion. I almost feel like a part of like the beauty is like I feel like you're a spiritual person that wants I almost want to say true awakening, but what I'm gonna say to you, maybe it's not something yet you necessarily want to hear, but there's no finish line. There is no end point. It's sort of like your whole life is going to be like because there's more to learn, there's more to see, there's more and more, and then if you can come to peace with that, that's when you have this world. And even the world here, it's almost like your world travel. Maybe you are there's like, but if you're trying to find peace externally, that will never work, because it has to be peace within, and peace within like where you're at, from knowing that there will be like there is no end point. There's sort of just like a continuum, and that's a very hard, I would say, pill to swallow for most people, because we liked we that's why we have linear, where we see our lives as linear, because we like to know the beginning and the end. And for you, it's sort of like continual. We do have the Ace of Wands, so I do feel like you are, and the Eight of Wands. There's lots of passion, lots of creativity, and if you haven't been allowing yourself to be creative, this is Spirit saying that this is one of your greatest gifts. This creativity, this passion for life, and just in general. I feel like if you have been ignoring your art in whatever form it takes, like whether it's like painting, whether it's writing, whether it's photography, music, singing, like there's something your spirit is actually, and I feel like it is your spirit calling you here. It's saying that it's time for you to create again. Yep. That yes, we still are. And even here with the moon, it could be, yeah, definitely like a water sign for me. It could be Cancer. It could be like knowing your duality, but it's like your space isn't the duality. Your space is more like knowing your emotions, coming to peace with yourself as who you are. But it is like very strong listening to your intuition, but it's also like a sense of, I'm seeing water and fire with the wands and the fire, but I feel like that's a sense that's so important, because maybe you've been focusing too much on your water and not enough on the fire. You need to create. You need to. There's the wondering, that's fine, but you need to create. There's a sense of creation needing. There's a sense of art here coming through here for you. So you have a lot of gifts to give the world, my friends. And one of them is like the creative process. You need to create. You really do. I can't say, like, you are meant to be a great creator, or maybe a storyteller, or art, whatever it is. However you create, could be, you could be creating with food or something. But there's a sense of purpose in that as well for you, as well as, I almost feel like trying to answer like, what is the meaning of life? That's sort of the question I feel like you're posing yourself, and maybe it's just meant to be that you live your life. But yeah, okay, let's see what other stuff is coming through here for you. Release and befriend. Okay, that's interesting. This is my magical site, and here, even I was gonna say immature here in a sense. And which is funny, because I'm actually not going to say that immature is a bad thing. There's a sense, like I said, the full energy is so important to you. That's the beauty, that you just throw yourself into something, maybe not knowing whether or not what you're doing, but you just put yourself out there. You just throw yourself into things, and then you figure it out as you go along. This like this sense of not having to figure it all out. That's a very beautiful quality of yours. Then there have the befriend, and if that's not something you're doing now, that's something that you maybe want to allow yourself freedom of playfulness, of being not like where you have to have everything be in order. And then we have befriend. So I think you have also this quality of you befriend others that maybe not everybody does. You see the good in everybody, and maybe not everybody can. You befriend those who nobody else does. We have the release again. It's water. It's such a water sign. Put the water. You have the ability to release. Like you don't. I want to say, like, I feel like, and if maybe that's not something you're doing, it's sort of like part of your thing is not to control. It's sort of just letting be, allowing things to be, even yourself. I think that's something that maybe that's a lesson that we need to do. And I'm going to be using the Salem Sisters blended with The Witch Becomes Her, and that's by Viva Love and Tarot, and you can find it on Etsy or her eBay shops. So, oh boy, I keep dropping all my cards today. Okay, hold on. Ooh. Sorry, as I go under there. Ooh. We have mom and dad. Okay. And the witch becomes her. We want to see what the witch becomes her for. And there's the tech witch, but I feel like there's another kind of witch. We also have the blood witch here, which is bonds, lineage, power. I do think that you have a lot of power, and I do feel like, okay, so if I were to say, you to me are like a starseed. That's what I'm going to say. Like, you are a starseed by nature, and I feel like you have this power. Maybe you're not aware of it as much, and it's a deep thing for like a while. And then we have fun, responsibility, and hardworking. And this is the important thing aspect here. There's the fun, but there's also like hardworking. And the hardworking for me is like allowing yourself to be creative. And that's the beauty that maybe you find these two. And then we have tech witch, which is networking, electricity, and coding. And that for me is actually the electricity. I'm almost see like the matrix, if you will. You can see past the matrix, or you're trying to see past the matrix. And so that's something that is important. It's sort of like, if you watch the matrix, it's sort of coming through and seeing past the illusion. That's what you're working on. And that's actually makes you quite beautiful because of that. Let's see what advice I can give you. Advice can you give the collective of group 3? Advice can you give the collective of group 3? What advice can I give the collective of group 3? I'm sorry that my little friends are here, but that's, oh wait, I like this one. I'm sorry, like you weren't supposed to, but here we have receive. So, are you willing to receive what you ask for and have it show up in a way that maybe you didn't expect? Everything comes to us that belongs to us if we create the capacity to receive it. You have the many channels to receive what it is you choose. Are you willing to open all of them? Gratitude. Oh, okay, all of them, which is gratitude. Acknowledge what is already there, and you will be given more of it. Breathe, believe, receive. So I feel like if you are trying to find the meaning, it's almost, for me, it's sort of like you already have it. What are you doing? Sort of like, okay, there's maybe not wanting to hear that. And then there's surrender. What are you aware of right now? Stop. Be where you are right now. Be in this present moment. Where are you? Touch the items around you. Take a deep breath and notice the sense. Look around and really notice your space. Whatever is happening in your life right now, you cannot control circumstances or other people, but you can control yourself and your actions and reactions. The strongest position you can be is complete to surrender to what is. So maybe it's a sense of like not having to quest, but really homecoming in this. And then we have awakening. So what are you becoming aware of? Are you awakening to your own life? Awakening is first and foremost a process. Your experiences have been teaching you how your life choices directly affect your senses, physical, psychic, energetic. Coming into consciousness is a waking up to the world around you in a way that you've never seen it before. Explore your curiosity, wonder, and a sense of play. Let go of where you've been. Okay, and so that's something else, but there's the sense here again of playing, that the qualities of you, and maybe you're holding on too tight and you're not seeing it yet, is that you are meant for this, like wondering. There's a sense of play. There's a sense of you being the fool, and that's okay. And then we have freedom. What if you could unlock your self-made cage and fly free? Freedom is generated from the inside. It is a space where you create for yourself, where you can let go, unlock the pain, sadness, duty, self-chosen cage, or any other luggage that you've been carrying, which is hindering forward motion. Empty your backpack. It will be easier to move forward and fly free without all the stuff you don't need. Oh, these are very beautiful guiding things. So allow yourself the freedom of wondering. Allow yourself the freedom to move forward. If you've been trying to be somebody who you're not, it's time to let that go. Yeah, I almost feel like you're a free spirit, my friend. Let yourself be free. So I do hope you liked this reading. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing. It just helps the channel grow and it helps me come back for more. And also, if you didn't hear, there will be a Reiki here that I will be doing to help to clear energy and to uplift the energy as well for you. And just thank you so much for being here. It really does mean a lot to me that I'm able to read your cards. Just thank you so much. And until I see you in the next one, bye-bye, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining me here for the Reiki. So just please let Reiki flow naturally, easily, and for the highest good of all. And please let those who wish to receive the blessings, the energetic blessings on this Reiki, receive it for their highest good. This is a better thank you.